In this tutorial, I'm going to cover lists and the scanner. So let's click on lists. In fact, the default when you log on is to have a list shown. These are the major ETFs, sector ETFs. So if you'd like, you can click on those to see what each one of them is doing and what relative strength or weakness they might have to the market. And these are the components within that particular ETF. So these are the XLB components. If I want to create my own list, I click Create, and then I name it. And let's say I'm going to name it AAA, just to keep things simple, pardon the pun. And I'll enter Microsoft. I usually like to use cap letters for this. It's just easier for me to see. Microsoft and Intel, and that'll be my watch list. Save and close. And now if I use the drop down for watch lists or lists, I can see AAA and I can load it. I've got a couple of lists in here that everyone can see. For instance, liquid options would be one that you might want to look at. These are all stocks that have very, very liquid options. The ETFs I've already shown you, but there's my AA list. So now I can simply click on the symbol, bring up the chart. Very easy. Let's say that I have a longer list. Let's go back to the liquid option list and let's click on Apple. There's an autoplay feature and I click it, and this is just going to flip. You can see how it's flipping through all the different stocks. If I see something that I really like, I can click this plus button. So I'll wait for a stock that I really like. I click that one because that one looks pretty good, relative strength. Market's been tanking, so I'm looking for anything that might have held its own last Friday. You can see there's not much to pick from. Just flipping right through. Could have also been looking for weakness. Perhaps that's what I should have done, is look for breakdowns. But I'm just trying to show you how to use this feature. And so I just have my finger on the mouse and I'm waiting for a chart to show up. I'll just click the next one. And so I would just do that until I run through all the different charts. So I'm going to hit pause and it'll stop flipping. This is a tag feature, so when I click the drop down, I can go to tag. These are the symbols that I clicked on. So as I'm flipping through charts, it's very easy for me to save these so that I can come back and take a look at them. This BBD is holding up relative to the market very, very well. If the market finds support, it could take off. So it's of interest to me. The tag list is going to erase every day. So if you put something in here and it really is of interest to you, save it. Save it to another list so that you can come back and see it every day. This is just meant to make it very easy during the day for you to find stocks that you might want to zero in on. Then you come back around for a second or third look, and now you know for sure you want to put that stock in another list. You can do so very easily. And I showed you how to create the list. The next feature that I'll show you is I'm going to bring up our old list, is this garbage can. That's how you delete it. So let's delete that list. Just did. So no longer have fave in here. Very easy. The plus we already talked about. That's tag. If you can't find a symbol, click that little eyeball, and here you can put in the company name or the symbol, and you can search for it. Excuse me, you put in the company name and it will find the symbol for you. That's kind of the whole point of it. So that's how we work the lists. Now I'm going to show you another feature called scanner. There are two types of scans. One is a canned scan. These are some scans that I'm providing for you, but the majority of what you'll be looking at are your own scans. And in a separate video on custom search, I'll be showing you that. I'll go through some of the basics on custom search, how to save a search, because that's very important. I don't think I can show you that too many times. So, bullish and bearish, very intuitive. Let's click on bullish. These would be our pre-open gainers. So these were stocks from Friday. I'm recording this on Saturday morning, that were gapping higher before the open. They were moving up. In fact, you can see when opened right here, that's where it closed the prior day. So it was really trying to move higher. Well, this is nice because before the open, I can come in and I can take a look at where the action is. What's moving higher, what's moving lower before the open. I can catch up on the news and I can see if that might have some tangent plays as well on stocks that are in that same group. So if wind's up, maybe Las Vegas Sands is up, maybe MGM is up. So pre-open gainers, you have gainers here, very standard list. They have to be up $1 or more to make the list. Gap up would mean that the stock has, let's take a look at it. The stock gaps up above the prior day's close. So again, pretty intuitive. These are all arranged in descending order for the bullish ones so that the stock with the biggest dollar gain is shown at the top. The bearish list would be the opposite. They are sorted in ascending order so that the largest loser is at the top. And this is how you would expect to see a list. So very easy. The pre-earnings bull, this would show stocks that are going to announce earnings after the close today or before the open tomorrow. So for those of you who like to track earnings stocks, you can do that with this search. If the stock is up, it's going to be bullish. If the stock is down today, it's going to be bearish. You can also take a look at post-earnings bull. So this would be a stock that announced yesterday after the close or today before the open. And here you can see that even though the stock reversed all day in this negative market, there's your announcement after the close, and the stock did finish higher for the day, so it appears in the bullish list. During earnings season, very, very helpful search. Again, these are all provided for you. Pop Bull is one of my favorite go-to searches. Fantastic. It looks for compressions and breakouts. And if you had one search that you were going to use, this is it. So there's your compression. There's your breakout. Let's put up the 10SI indicator. Look at that relative strength. Beautiful. Let's put up the squeeze indicator. There you can see we're in a squeeze right here. We've got good strength relative to market. Breakout, even with a bloodbath taking place on Friday. And the SPY down, look at this stock. Just continued to grind higher. And relative strength is our edge. So when we find it, let's say that we thought the market was going to bounce on Friday. We didn't think that. We were actually short. But let's say that we did think that the market was going to bounce. And we get into this stock. The market's down the entire day. You still end up making money on the stock because you're in something that has relative strength. And as the market's tanking lower and lower and lower, you still have time to get out of the stock and not lose so much money, maybe scratch the trade. So you've got a lot of cushion because you're in the right stock. If you would have just traded the market and you were long S&P futures and you were on the wrong side, guaranteed you are going to lose money. There's no two ways about it. So by being in the right stock, we have a little bit of cushion to get the market wrong. And if the market had bounced and headed higher, this stock would be off to the races. Pop Bull, use it. Great for swing trading. And if it's great for swing trading, that probably means that there's going to be a day trading opportunity that sets up as well. So I'm going to take some of these indicators off. Pop Plus Bull is a similar search. It is also looking for that same type of breakout, and I'll just click on a couple of them. There you go. And there's your support, and look at how the stock continued higher. So they're similar in nature. I don't want to go into the subtleties, just use both of them. These will be fantastic swing trading opportunities for you. Another search that I really like to use, both on the bullish and bearish side, is let's say that the market, let's go into a 5-minute chart here, and let's bring up the SPY. Let's say that the market has just gone through a big drop like this on Friday, and I think that the market is about ready to bounce. Then I want to come to this list and I want to look for relative strength. One option, relative strength, weakness, bull 30. RSW, relative strength, weakness, bull 30. This search is going to find relative strength versus the SPY. Real easy to use. So you click on it, and because this is a 30-minute time frame, it's going to show us the last 30 minutes of the market, which is actually good. Let's take a look at it and see what it came up with, because the market was down huge in the last 30 minutes. So there's my SPY overlay, and here's what the stock did. So if I'm looking for a market bounce and the market sell-off has happened in the last 30 minutes, I want to use this 30-minute search, 45-minute search. If the sell-off had happened for an hour, I'll use that 60-minute search. Really, really good stuff. Look at that strength. If the market had bounced in here, this stock would easily be up 50, 60 cents. So those are your different time frames. M30 bull. Day M30 bull. This is looking for strength versus the market and strength versus the sector that the stock is in. So it's looking for the strongest sector versus the market and the strongest stocks within that sector. Another really, really good search. So let's see what it did. Look at this stock, market tanking. Look at how well this stock held up. This is why it's a default search. So even though the market was down huge, and that's what the gray line is, the SPY, this stock basically is where it closed the previous day. Relative strength. APC, higher than the prior day's close. It finally gave in towards the end of the day, but still on a relative basis, it was strong throughout the course of the day. So we're looking for the strongest sector, and we're looking for the strongest stock within that sector. Bullish Explosion. We didn't have any on Friday. This is an unbelievable search. These stocks will be listed here, and you won't see many of them each day, but by default, you're going to get a pop-up. Now, when you get that Bullish Explosion pop-up in the platform, there's a little box that you can mark to disable it so that you don't get any in the future. I would discourage disabling that pop-up because you are going to catch some huge stocks. This looks for a big percentage move in the underlying stock and a breakthrough through horizontal resistance. And I'll show you a stock that we caught on exactly that search earlier in the week. It was 2 days ago, I believe. So I'm going to use a 5-minute chart. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you that bullish explosion right here. Now this is a 5-minute bar. There wasn't a lot of time, but there was some time to get in this trade, and some of us nailed it. So if you see one of these pop-ups come up, this is a massive move, and this is a great day trade, and you can see the stock continued to move higher even after trading was halted. So excellent position. I know we've caught Qualcomm, we've caught a bunch of stocks using this. So that's something you have to look forward to, and there is a counterpart on the bearish side for all of these searches. So pre-open losers, gap down, bearish earnings, relative weakness, all right here. And when I had shown you the SPY, when we knew that we were in for trouble and that the trading was going to be, it's going to be a really, really hard day, we get this nice little market rally here. This is when you'd want to be looking for relative weakness, because you find these stocks, and when the market rolls over and starts heading back down, then you know it's going to be time, and these are going to be your stocks that lead the charge. And again, use the trade signals, use the arrows on the chart. And I can take a look at a couple of them, like AGN. Look at that sell signal right there. Hello. Apple. Nice stuff. Buy, sell, sell. Long here, go into a short. Nice sell signal right in there. My trade signals are excellent. So those are the scans that you're going to get within the platform. These are all default scans, and they're just found in the bullish and the bearish icons at the top. Now I'm going to go very briefly into my searches, because this is where the power really begins. And all I'm going to show you in this video is I clicked custom search and I get the pop-up. Now in my other videos, I tell everybody I love to have my option liquidity at a +2. Those are going to be liquid options to 10. And I always like to have weekly options, so I'll mark that. And now I'm just going to do a very basic search. Let's say that I'm looking for a stock that's on a bullish trade signal on M5 and M15. Better yet, let me do another search here. This is one I like to run every day. Let's see if there was a bullish engulfing pattern on anything Friday on a daily basis. Well, there wasn't. And I'm not surprised, because the S&P futures closed down, I believe, close to 50 points. So we're not going to see any bullish engulfing patterns. But if we did find one, it might be worth taking a look at. So let's say that this was a search I ran every day. Of course, VXS is up there. I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save this search by clicking save. I'm going to come in and name it. And let's say that I want to name it engulf. You should have some type of name that allows you to remember what it was that you were looking for. And I'll mark bullish, and then here I can describe it and say, I'm just going to type in random letters here. This is for illustration purposes only. So once I click that save, look, there it is right there. So now I can run that search. There's my symbol, click on it, bring up the chart, and yes, you can see how VXX was moving higher. Now within that custom search, if I wanted to first look at the results, I could just double click on the symbol here and the chart would pop up. So let's say that I can't remember what I marked for this whole thing, and let's unmark this bar, and let's unmark this. So I've got this search up here, my engulf search, but I can't remember what the heck did I mark, what boxes. I click this little edit box here, and it will load the engulf back. All the parameters that I had clicked are going to reload in the scanner. So now I can add other things to it, or I can take things off of it, and I can run the scan again. And if I want to, I can save it again. Yes, I want to save it and close it. And so now engulf will be completely different. But this allows me to not have to go back and describe it perfectly each time. I can just click this edit button, and I can go back and see exactly what was marked, and I can change it for future use. Let's say that this search is just not working for me any longer. I can go in and delete it. I can also click the question mark, and there's the description that I provided for it. So that'll be, I just clicked the question mark. You can go in and find out exactly what it was that this search was looking for. Very, very useful. Good documentation. And before I delete it, we're just going to use the same autoplay feature. So it's going to just flip through all the charts one by one, and I can use that same tag feature if I want. When I see something I really, really like, it'll save it to the tag list. So all the features that I showed you in the watch list as well. There is an additional feature, and I'm going to click pause. And so now I've got a very big list. Let's say that I want it to be on a trade signal. First of all, none of these are marked by default, but options are, because most of my customers like to trade options. I want to see that option liquidity better than 2 and up to 10. If you don't trade options, you trade stock, unmark it. You get a whole lot more candidates coming into play. Let's say that I only want to look at stocks that have a buy signal on H1. I can also select that. And now it will only show me stocks that are on an H1 buy signal. I'm going to delete this. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I do. So now my searches are blank once again. So you can filter all of the stock results so that only stocks that are on a buy signal, if it's a bullish search, or a sell signal, if it's a bearish search, will show up. So let's go into gainers one more time, and let's click the H1, and then we'll take a look at it. And so we're in H1, time frame, 1 hour, there's our buy signal. And so the stock is on a buy signal, so it'll filter everything out. So that is the little overview on custom search. This is the most powerful tool. I'm going to have so many videos on it. It's super easy to use. It's all binary, just on off switches. So all the heavy lifting's been done. I've configured the technical indicators, and I've determined when they're bullish and when they're bearish for each one of these time frames. You just need to go and click boxes and start experimenting and finding your own searches. So in this particular video, we've covered the list feature, how you can create your own watch lists, the scanner, and some of the canned searches that I provide, and then custom search, how you can go in, develop your own searches, save them, and access them for future use. Thank you.